Did you know that the American education system was modeled after the German education system, which was literally designed to destroy the concept of free will in its citizens' minds? That's not even my opinion. That is literally what the person who spearheaded the German education system said. Towards the end of the 1700s, present-day Germany had invented the Prussian method of education, which was introduced by a man named Johann Fichte, who said, and I quote, "Education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as the schoolmasters would have wished." Germans became interested in destroying free will after they were defeated in battle in 1806. The Prussian emperor was concerned about the terrible defeat done by Napoleon in 1806. His concern was not that Prussian forces had been defeated, but that Prussian soldiers had acted as individuals and not as a unit. The new education system would create the unit that he had in mind. Now see, the primary goals of this system were not intellectual training, but rather conditioning the students for obedience, subordination, and collective life. They lost this battle against Napoleon. They created this education system. And years later, they got their revenge against Napoleon and beat them in battle. Soon after that, countries from all over the world became interested in the Prussian method of education. American politician Horace Mann, best known as the father of American education, literally traveled to Europe to study the Prussian model of public education. He was seeking a way to change unruly children into disciplined citizens. That system that he brought back from Germany still exists today. What do you think? Does it seem like our education system is designed to turn us into obedient citizens? I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, we sat in rows and columns and had assigned seats. Some of us wore uniforms. We had to say the Pledge of Allegiance. We're all tested on the same subjects despite having different interests. From a very young age, we are introduced to and forced to become okay with this concept of authority, which is the power to enforce obedience. Now, clearly, there are pros to having a public education system, but I do think that we should ask ourselves, is this education or is it indoctrination? Cool, we're being taught, but what are we being taught and why? What is this teaching optimizing us to be? To everyone who got bad grades or often found themselves in detention, maybe it wasn't that you were unable to learn, maybe you were just unable to be controlled. The only thing that I regret is not learning about this while I was still in school, because I would have loved to walk up to one of my teachers, look them in the eye, and ask them,